Well, Joe Burrow seems to be the consensus #1 pick. Alabama QB Tua Tagovailoa is closing the gap between him and the Heisman winner. One anonymous NFC coach said that if Tua hadn't hurt his hip, scouts would be split like they were in 2012 with Andrew Luck and RG3. The scout continued to praise Tua, saying, quote, "I don't think it's crazy to say that he could be the next Russell Wilson." So, Shannon, high would you take Tua?
Skip, the only concerns that I would have is the medicals. And it seems like his medical coming back from the combine is clean.
That's what I'm reading.
The hip is fine. Yeah. I've always said I thought Tua was better because I felt he's done it longer. Skip, you look at it, he stepped in as a true freshman, wins the national title game, coming in at the half of Jalen Hurts. The next year, he puts up unbelievable number. Yeah, he loses in the title game. And this past season, he was off to a better year his junior year than he was having his sophomore season. Yep. 33-3. That's what his numbers are. And I agree with the scout that said that had he not gotten hurt, it'd have been very, very interesting who Cincinnati would have taken. Skip, I would take him over Joe Burrow because I believe he's done it longer. I'm always leery. I believe Joe Burrow had the greatest season ever for a college quarterback, ever in the history of the game in college football, Skip, but it was one season. And I'm always leery. Now that, you know, Cam had the one great season, and it turned out great for Cam. Took a team to the Super Bowl, won the league's MVP. But more times than not, you get a more Achilles Smiths, you get more Joey Harringtons than you get Cam Newtons.
By the way, Cam did have a national championship in junior college.
In junior college. But when guys just have this great season, because you remember, Skip, Joe Burrow, his junior year at LSU, it wasn't good. And then they get
it wasn't awful, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was 18 and 15, something like that. So for me, Skip, I love Tua. The way the ball comes out his hand. Does he have Patrick Mahomes' arm? With his accuracy, his anticipation. And Skip, those are the two most important things that people don't understand. They think, well, you need to be able to throw the ball 100 yards. How many times during the course of the game you going to launch the ball 65, 70 yards, Skip? It's not very often. But you need to be able to have great accuracy and tremendous anticipation. Because in the NFL, you throw guys open. You don't wait until they get open. You wait until a guy get open in the NFL, it's a pick six going back the other way.
Yeah, I agree.
So I would take, Skip, for me, I like Tua better than Burrow. I would take him. If I'm the Dolphins, I feel real good where I am because I kept bringing Ryan Fitzpatrick back. I can fit him and make sure that hip is 1,000% healthy. Skip, I believe he's. You hate to say can't miss because you can miss, but I like Tua. I love Tua.
Why shouldn't the Bengals take him?
I think the thing is for them, the reason why they won't take him, Skip, is because they don't have a veteran guy that can redshirt him. Because if you look at the guys the last couple of years that redshirted, Skip, they did pretty good. Yep. they did. Look at Lamar. Look at my homeboy. They did pretty good redshirting. So
Lamar gave up his red shirt
halfway through the season. Yep. But for me, Skip, I love Tua. I would take Tua over Joe Burrow.
If you're talking about deadly accurate, I give you Tua. If you're talking about lightning release, I'll give you Tua. But after that, I just can't buy the way I can buy Joe Burrow off last year, and I got it. It's 1 year. It's just simply the greatest year ever. And I thought Baker Mayfield had the greatest year ever 2 years ago. And then I thought Kyler had the greatest year ever 1 year ago.
Yeah, nothing compared to this.
This is preposterous. This is in those last 3 games he played, the SEC and then OU and the national championship.
Sure.
You know, he completes 70% with 16 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. He runs for 2 touchdowns, and his QBR for 3 games is 98. Well, you just can't do better, right?
It is.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
And he just kept doing it all year, and we don't have time to go through all the just gaudy numbers that he put up. Did he have 3 really good receivers? Yes, he did. Yeah. Did he have a Joe Brady who came from the Saints and changed his life with the new offense? You better believe he did. Did Tua have 4 receivers who could wind up going in the first round? They could. Yeah. Right?
Devontae Smith went back, though. But he'll be a first rounder next year.
But I'm saying, and Waddle looks like he, I don't know, first or second maybe? I don't know. So you could have 3 firsts and a second. It's outrageous track speed that he was throwing to. And then back to your medicals. It's so much to overcome.
It is.
Because
it's hard to overlook it, Skip.
The hip was serious. It was career
Hip is the most serious,
okay?
but
he had ankle surgery on both ankles, and it's that dangerous sort of tightrope surgery, which is it's risky.
Right.
And I guess it worked. I hope it worked for his sake. He broke the index finger on his throwing hand. It's not awful, but it's just another indication of brittle. It's just, and then remember, it looked like the most serious injury was when he was trying to play through a knee injury. Now, I don't know the scope of it or the issue. Will it be ongoing? Maybe. That's a lot of medical right there. And then I look back at some of his biggest games. He was not great in it. And I question, does he have that backbone? Is he that guy? Under big game fire, is he made of the toughest stuff? I'm not sure about that, because in the 2018 SEC championship game against Georgia, again, was he struggling with it? I don't even know what it was, his knee or his ankle?
Knee, that one.
I think it was his knee, but he was horrible. And finally, Nick did the reverse, and he yanked him and put Jalen Hurts back in, and he saved the day, right? And then against Clemson in the 2018 national championship game, he put up fair numbers, but he threw 2 big interceptions, and they got blown out.
Big Six is one of his first throws.
I got it.
And that was the thing, Skip. When you look at it, you look at all the games he played, he's really had 2 bad games. The SEC championship game and the Clemson game. Other than that, because even though they lost to LSU, Skip, he was unbelievable.
He threw for 418 and 4 touchdowns, but he threw a lot of bad passes in the game because his QBR for college, because they're always way up, but it was 73. So Joe Burrow just flat out outplayed him in his house, right? It was at Tuscaloosa. And then I start going down Joe Burrow, and remember, it started at Texas on a big Saturday night national TV game, and then here it went, Florida and at Alabama, and then it got to the point where he wasn't ever missing a throw. He played 3 straight huge games, and not one time did I say, oh, he misfired on that throw, right? And listen, when they say, you know, comparing him to Russell Wilson, too, because he's got great feet. Listen, Joe Burrow at 6'4" was an all-state basketball player. He gets loose and runs for first downs. I like it.
Ask Clemson. Ask Alabama.
Don't remember.
Can he run?
Yeah, can he run? Yeah, he can run. And he's got some gumption about it. I first noticed him when he was at Texas, and they're just blowing him off their own field, and he's turning the stands pointing at people.
Well, even the tweet the other day with the hand size. You know, I'm going to announce my retirement. Like, he is not afraid to have an opinion and voice it, and he's got the confidence. Well, you mentioned Russell Wilson. I've got him for a different reason. He and Aaron Rodgers may be helping the players get on the same page. We'll discuss next.